Therefore, it is with sadness and deep regret that I announce that it is my intent to resign from the Senate effective September 30th.
Hi, this is Josh Marshall from TPM Media. It's Wednesday, September 5th, 2007. That was Larry Craig in his resignation speech last Saturday, or what we thought was his resignation speech. Everybody thought that was it. Larry Craig was going to retire back to Idaho and do whatever. But a lot of you listened closely to what he said there and keyed in on what turns out to have been the key line, that it was his intent to resign on September 30th. Not that he was resigning or that he would resign, but that he thought he would. Now, what it turns out now, this isn't something that Craig has just latched onto in retrospect. It seems like this is the plan, this was the plan all along when he went into that press conference. In fact, the night before, Senator Arlen Specter called him and said he would stand up on his behalf, and this went into Craig's thinking when he went back and tweaked the language of his resignation speech to give him this out. So how do we know this? Well, through a very bizarre set of circumstances. It came out last night, the Capitol Hill newspaper Roll Call got hold of a recording of a call that Senator Craig made the morning of the press conference to what he thought was his lawyer, Billy Martin, giving him an update on his strategy and the speech, the announcement that he was about to make. Now, it turns out that Senator Craig had the wrong number, so he left this on some random DC resident's voicemail. That person went to Roll Call and gave them a copy of it. Now, the key point is, listen to what he says about the call he got from Senator Specter and the change that he's made to his quote-unquote resignation speech.
Received at 11:55 a.m.
Yes, Billy, this is Larry Craig calling. You can reach me on my cell. Arlen Specter is now willing to come out in my defense, arguing that it appears by all that he knows I've been railroaded and all of that. Having all of that, we've reshaped my statement a little bit to say it is my intent to resign on September 30. I think it is very important for you to make as bold a statement as you are comfortable with this afternoon, and I would hope you could make it in front of the cameras. I think it would help drive the story that I'm willing to fight, that I've got quality people out there fighting in my defense, and that this thing could take a new turn or a new shape, has that potential. Anyway, give me a buzz or give Mike a buzz on that. We're headed to my press conference now. Thank you. Bye.
To replay.
Okay, so here's the key line again. Having all of that, we have reshaped my statement a little bit to say it is my intent to resign on September 30th. So this little wordplay was right front and center in Senator Craig's mind while he was giving that speech. Now, it's pretty uncommon that we see the backstory to one of these meaning of is sort of situations, but here it is right here. Now, remember, Senator Craig gives his resignation speech, quote unquote, on Saturday. The next day, Senator Specter, who kind of got this whole ball rolling, appears on Fox News and basically lays out what seems to be the strategy. Take a look.
And I'd still like to see Senator Craig fight this case. He left himself some daylight, Chris, when he said that he intends to resign in 30 days. I'd like to see Larry Craig go back to court, seek to withdraw his guilty plea, and fight the case. I've had some experience in these kinds of matters since my days as Philadelphia District Attorney, and on the evidence, Senator Craig wouldn't be convicted of anything, and he's got his life on the line and 27 years in the House and Senate, and I'd like to see him fight the case because I think he could be vindicated. He hasn't resigned. Bear in mind, Chris, if you look closely, listen closely to what Senator Craig said. He said he intends to resign. Once you resign, you're out. But when you have a statement of intent to resign, that intent can change.
Okay, so there you have it. Senator Specter pretty much laid out the whole strategy right there. And in retrospect, it's sort of surprising that more people, including myself, didn't see what was happening here and that Senator Craig was going to flip-flop again, sort of like he did on the guilty plea a little earlier, on what he was going to do. Okay, so where does this all leave the case of Senator Larry Craig? Well, his lawyers are going on TV now, making the case for him, making the argument that he can stay in the Senate, that he can beat these charges. Now, the legalities of it are a little complicated. It's pretty hard to take back a guilty plea when you have no real rationale for doing so other than you change your mind. The bigger question here is the politics. So as you remember from last week, Senator Craig's Republican colleagues wanted him gone, gone, gone. They've had enough problems with scandal already. I believe his Senate colleagues filed, his Republican Senate colleagues filed an ethics complaint against him, which is close to unheard of, within 36 hours of the original news coming to light. Now, in addition to that, next week is the big surge propaganda campaign, so they especially want him out of the way now. They don't want Senator Craig around, as it were, stepping on General Petraeus' toes. So there you have it. It seems like Senator Craig is not quite ready to shuffle off this electoral coil, and there's a real fight brewing between him and his Senate colleagues who would like him to return to Idaho post-haste. I'm Josh Marshall from TPM Media, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.